Starting your doghouse plans. In this tutorial, what we're going to do is set up some parameters so that we know what your doghouse is going to be made of and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off by just zooming in, and this is my template, and you can see, actually I'm going to zoom out, and you can see that this is my stuff. I've expanded the limits and things like that, and I've scaled up the border. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go into the top corner. I'm going to change my layers to text, and I'm going to then type in text. What I'm going to do is put my height of my text, let's go with, I don't know, let's say 4 inches. Okay, so 4 inches, no, let me escape out of that and try that one more time. Text, start point, I'm going to start it right here. And the text height, maybe now we'll go 2 inches for right now. Let's see how high that is. Okay, and the start rotation angle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just type in notes. Okay, and my next line, I'm going to say that the floor is 2x4 construction. Okay, and we're going to change that to be floor joists. Okay, 2x4 construction. The next line, we're going to sit there and say that the walls are 2x2 construction. This is going to help you just figure out how big, when somebody goes to make this thing, what you actually are asking them to use for materials. Okay, we're going to have the actual floor this time is going to be 1/2 inch ply. Okay, I'm going to call this the what else is next? The roof is going to be, let's say it's going to be 5/8 plywood. Okay, I'm just going to go up here and change that to plywood. Okay, and finally the exterior siding is going to be 3/8 inch ranch board. Okay, so what that does, that kind of gives us what the walls and everything are going to be made out of, and then the roof itself. Now we'll leave that out. Okay, so there we go. There's just some notes for how we're going to draw it. Okay, so there's our notes now. I just put them up in the corner. Okay, I can always just move these and do a different size, right? But for right now, actually, I'm going to move them. I'm just going to put them up a little higher up in the corner. Oops, Control Z. Let's try that one more time. Highlight the whole thing, type in M for move, pick a point, and there's my notes. Okay, and let's go and move that once more time. M for move, and we'll pick that point there so we actually get them. There we go. Whoops, didn't want to move. Anyways, we'll leave it there. So now what we're going to do is draw our doghouse. Okay, and I'm just going to start with changing back to my layers, and it's going to be my object lines and my line here, and I'm just going to start down here. Now what we're going to do is limit the size. We're going to use a sheet of plywood, and as explained in class, you don't want to waste sheets of plywood because they're expensive. So we got to start thinking about how big a sheet of plywood is, right? So if I was to draw my sheet of plywood over here, I know that a sheet of plywood is 4 feet, and this way it is 8 feet. So I'm just going to come down all the way down here a bit further. I'll have to move this in a second. There's my 4 feet again, and then back up to here, okay, and cancel out. Okay, and highlight this, M for move, and move it up here. So now I want to maximize this sheet of plywood. So to start off with, I'm going to build the doghouse as 2 feet across. Why 2 feet across? Well, it's because if I take this and I go to the center here and I divide it in half, because my sheet of plywood basically is 4 feet across, right? And if I just annotate it right now, okay, so we'll just put an annotated here. There's 4 feet, and there's 8 feet. Spacebar to bring this back. And there's 8 feet that way, right? So half of 4 feet is 2 feet. So I'm going to start with my doghouse at 2 feet across. So we'll go across and say, okay, there's my 2 feet. And I'm going to go up, I don't know, let's say 2 feet high. And you do not have to copy this. This is just an example. So I got 2 feet high, and then I'm going to put some type of angle on it. So I'm going to go up 6 inches high right now, and again, it doesn't matter. Come down 6 inches and close it off. Okay, so there's the front of my doghouse. Right? And now it's like that's the whole size of it, but I got a floor there, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offset. So you type in offset, and I know that a 2x4 is 3.5 inches, so I can type in 3 0.5, and make sure you got the quotes in there for 3.5 inches, and then I can offset it up like that. Okay, and then once again I can type in offset, and the distance is going to be 0.5 because the floor is going to be 1/2 inch plywood. Okay, so 0.5, and I just go up, and there's my other 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's how high my floor is going to be. Okay, and then from here, what you got to realize is you got from 2 feet from there to there, right? But you don't have to put the siding all the way on there, right? So siding usually just cuts about halfway down, right? So if I wanted to put my siding on right now, I could just type in offset, okay? And the siding is going to be 3/8, which is 0.375 of an inch. And I can take this and go this way. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Okay, so let me just type in offset again, and it's 0.375 of an inch. Okay, and I'm just going to grab that one, go to the outside. There's that one that way, and there's that one that way, and I'm just going to take this middle one and delete it now. Okay, so there's my siding, but my siding doesn't go to the ground, so it's only going to go maybe halfway down below, right? So I can at some point in time just put a line here and say okay, or just type in offset again and say, well, my siding's going to go, I don't know, 1 inch off the ground. So I'm going to say 1 inch, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to offset it up that way, and I'm going to type in extend, and I'm going to pick this line here, right mouse click, I'm going to pick that line to extend there, and then that line to extend there. Okay, and if I zoom in a bit more, I can type in trim, and take this line, right mouse click, and I can trim off that excess. Okay, so there we go. So now I have my siding put on. I know where my floor is, right? And now I can put a door in, and I can just take a line, and now you can see that I can't actually snap because I've got snap turned on. So I'm going to leave my snap on. I'm just going to have to draw from here. And let's turn off the O-snap. Draw a line again, and it still snaps. And let's say my door is going to be this way big, just to make it easy. Okay, and again, it's not going to go to all the way down to the ground because there's a 2x4 here, then there's a piece of plywood here. So reality is I can trim off my door and say, okay, I'm going to get rid of from right here, right mouse click, I can click that, and I can click that, and those are gone. Okay, once that's done, I can sit there and say, well, now I got my size of my house, I got my siding on. Okay, I can take and put a roof on. So my roof is going to be, what did I say over here? If I come back over, the roof is 5/8 plywood. So I can type in offset. Oops, let me back up there. And I can say it's going to be 5/8, which is 0.625 of an inch. Or you can just type in 5/8 inches. And then I can grab that and go that way, and grab this one, go that way. Okay, so there's my plywood, and I probably want it to go off a little ways off the, whoops, let's Control Z. Oops, well, let me do that one more time. Offset. And it's going to be 5/8 of an inch. And just do that there, and this one here. Okay, so there's my roof, but I have to have it come over on an overhang. So I'm just going to go again offset, and I want it to overhang maybe 4 inches. So I'm going to say 4 inches. I'm going to take from this, I'm going to go this way, and from this one, go that way. And again, type in extend. And then from here, pick this one, pick that one, right mouse click, that guy extends to there, that guy extends to there, that guy extends to there, that one extends to there. Okay, and now I don't need these lines. Actually, no, I do, because I can trim them. So I can come into close, and I can type in trim, pick this line here, pick this line here, right mouse click, I can get rid of that one, I can get rid of that, I can get rid of that. Okay, there's that one done. Spacebar to get trim back, pick this one and this one, right mouse click, pick there, and I'm going to zoom in to get that one. Okay, so now I basically got the front of my doghouse done. The only thing left I haven't done is up here. I just got to extend those. So I'm going to draw a line from here up, go back out a bit, and I'm going to type in extend again, and I pick this one, right mouse click, there, and finally trim, and there, right mouse click, and then left mouse click there. Okay, so there's my doghouse basically done. The only thing is I'm going to hide or trim off so you don't see the rest of this last little bit. Okay, so I don't need to see anything kind of here. So that line is actually gone. Okay, because there's going to be some siding on here, so that line is completely gone. So we'll take that one, hit delete, and then we're going to trim off these ones because, nope, that's Control Z. Hang on a second. Control Z, Control Z. There we go. That's actually a lie. That piece of plywood's there. So I'm going to just trim off. Oh, hang on. No, we're going to extend this line first because we got to think about what this is going to look like. So this is going to go there. We're going to extend that line, hit escape. Now we're going to trim, and we're going to trim off from here and here. We're going to get rid of that line and that line, that line and that line. So what happens now is what you see is basically, that's the plywood. Now, again, I can undo this, and instead of trimming it off, what I can do actually is go to layers and go hidden lines, knowing that this line here, that line there are actually existing. Okay, and I'm going to change those to hidden. Okay, you can see they're dashed now, except for this one right here is a solid line. So new command here, you can type in break, and I take this one and I'm going to break it. I'm just going to turn my my O-snap on, and I'm going to break it, and I'm going to turn my other stuff, and I'm going to break it there, and what's going to happen now is that's hidden, okay, or that's Control Z, I goofed on that one. That one's going to be there the whole time. It's completely hidden. This one here is the one I'm supposed to break. So I'm going to type in break, and I'm going to select that object, and it's going to ask me to specify the breakpoint, and I'm going to turn off my snap again, my O-snap. Hang on a second, it won't let me get in there. So I want it to, okay, it's not going to work in here. So we're going to make it easier. Sorry, one last time. Break, pick this, and I'm going to take my snap off so I can actually get to that. I'm going to turn my O-snap on so I can get to right there. And what I can do is take this line, and I'm going to put it all the way to there. So it's a hidden line like that. I'm going to take this line, and I'm going to extend it right to there. So it's there, and then I'm just going to go back to my object line. And I know this is getting a little finicky, but I'm doing it right. I'm going to type line, and I'm going to go from here to there. So now what you see, and actually I'm going to go one more line because you're actually going to see from there to there. So I'm going to go over top of that for right now. Okay, so there we go. So that's what you're actually going to see. You're going to see the 2x4 that's underneath, but it's hidden. You can see the plywood there that's hidden there, but you're going to see it there. Okay, so there's the front of my doghouse. And the last thing I want to do, if I want to do this, is say, you want to know something? I'm going to go and add something around the outside. So let's say I want to add like a little frame around it. So I can just type in, I don't know, let's go type in offset, and let's say 2 inches, and I'm going to offset this way, this way, that way, and then I'm going to extend for right now to make it easier, because it's just easier to do this. I'm going to extend that one that way, that one that way, then I'm going to type and extend again. I'm going to take this one this way, that one that way, and then I'm going to trim. And finally, I can just take those and do this. Oops, right there and right there. And I have just like a little frame around the front. And again, down here, what I do is I'm going to make it go to there. Oh no, I'm going to also put it off the bottom. So I'm going to type in extend, and this is going to go 2 inches. Oops, hit extend again. Sorry, not extend, offset. And 2 inches, and this one is going to go down 2 inches as well, and then extend. We'll do it this way instead. Yeah, we'll go to here, we'll take this one down, type in extend one more time, and we're going to take to this one, take this length here, right mouse click, and I'll do this. No, it won't let me extend to that. So extend one last time. We'll go here to here. Right mouse click, that one goes that way, that one goes that way, and then I can type extend down, and this one goes down, this one goes down, type trim, and then trim off the bits here and here, and there we go. Okay. So now what I have is I have my doghouse that's got a frame around the door, so it looks a little prettier. I have my siding, I have my roof, okay, and I have my floor, and you can see that there's the hidden lines to show that there's the top of the floor. And then the final thing I'm going to do is just do some dimensions on here, right? So I'm just going to go to annotate, dimension, oh, sorry, go back, change the layer, back to dimension lines, and then go to annotate, dimension, and now I can sit there and say, well, how big is my doghouse? Well, from right there to right there is 2 feet, right? From the top of my doghouse, from the bottom there to the very top is, there's my height. Okay, how big is my my sheet of plywood? Well, if I grab the dimension like this and I go on an aligned, I zoom in a bit, and I can pick up there, and I can pick there, and there's how long my doghouse is, each sheet of plywood. Okay, and then I can just keep going and dimensioning everything so I can draw it. So we're going to stop there. That is basically drawing the front view of a doghouse, okay, using this type of materials here. And the only thing I didn't show in here, I guess, is the frame for the 2x2. So I'm just going to type in one last thing. I'm going to go back to home, switch over to hidden lines, but I'm going to go offset, and a 2x2 is 1. Next second, let's type in offset once more, and I got to put 1.5 inches in this case, okay. And I'm going to offset this guy this way, and then this guy right here this way, and because there's going to be some lines, so now I can take these two here like this, because this is the actual 2x2s in behind, right? So there's those, type in trim, okay, because they're not going to make it all the way down here, so I'm going to take that, whoops, control Z it to come back. So they're actually not going to be down here, so I'm going to sit there and say trim off now, and say I don't want this thing past this line, okay, and then there's my actual 2x2s in behind. Okay, so you can add all these things in. I'm not going to finish off the top. You can draw a line across there and hidden line and across there. But basically that shows you then that there's some 2x2s in behind, there's a 2x4 underneath, there's a sheet of plywood right there, there's a sheet of plywood here, and maybe even offset this way, you would have some 2x2s to make the roof on the inside. So we're going to let you play with this. The style bottom line is going to end up being, you know, whatever you like, but in the end you're going to have the front view of a little doghouse, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and I'm going to stop here, and then we're going to do the side view of the doghouse over there, and that completes this tutorial.